Okay, so it's obvious that Sir Bhagavan Das is not around, and it's my great opportunity to share with you what I have heard from my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa. And for that, I am really very much appreciative and thankful for the great mercy He has bestowed upon me and all of us, because we have heard, we're able to hear from our teachers that are taking care of us, the truth, the absolute truth about this life, about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our relationship with Him, and how to solve the problems that we are fronting with in every day of our life. Okay. So as we discussed or read, as we read the Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, it's been a week, I think a week, that we have heard from the golden avatar or the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, his pastimes, the teachings, the most important teachings that he left with us. We've learned that there's no difference between the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It all points to worshiping, praising, loving, and serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they both, Shastras, point to surrender. Where do we put our surrender? We've been in this world for so long. We've been taking birth, many, many births, not only this lifetime, but previously. And we've put our surrender to all the things that we can see, that we have exposed to, but never to God. That is why we're given this human form, to be able to graduate or to be able to accomplish what we have left behind. Okay? For we know, we've heard, we've read, we've understood that we are not this physical body that we are possessing, that we are in temporarily. Any scriptures that you read, may it be Bible, may it be the Puranas or the Vedas or whatever holy scriptures that you read, it all points to our true nature, that we are not this body. And we have discussed the proofs to that our bodies keep on changing from time to time, from the baby body to the boyhood or girlhood body to adolescence, then to old man's or old woman's body, and after some time we leave our body. That is enough proof that we are not our body. And another proof that we are not this body is we can remember those times that we were in our baby body, and when we were in elementary or high school days, we can still relish the memories that we've had. And if those memories are not desirable, not very good, then we don't like to remember it. So the witness to the body that keeps on changing is us, we, the spirit soul. Nawala internet. Akin ba yan? It's okay. So us, the spirit soul. And knowing our eternality, we are eternal because we are spirit. We don't have beginning and we don't have end. Then we should know why we are here in this material world suffering. If you say you are not suffering because you belong to the affluent family, you have so many skills and talents that you can use in your stay in this world, but that is not lasting. We are suffering since the beginning of this body, the birth that we have had, then the diseases that we encounter, that we experience. Then comes old age, like me. My body is almost in old age or even old age. Then after that, death will come. So these four miseries are inevitable. Inevitable meaning you cannot avoid it. It will come whether you like it or not. So aside from these miseries, the birth, age, diseases, old age, and death, we also have the threefold miseries. The miseries caused by teachers. Anyone? What are the threefold miseries? Caused by the mind. Why is it that our mind causes us miseries? Because our mind doesn't like to serve God. And it doesn't like us to serve also. So the role of the mind is keeping us always away from God. And that we should be aware of. Since we are identifying with our mind, we are not aware of that. Or maybe we are aware, but you just like to tolerate it. You just like to maybe give chance, or you enjoy following your mind. But later, or maybe sooner, you'll come to the point of experiencing pain because of always following your mind. Like when your mind dictates you to do things which are not beneficial for your well-being. So your mind there becomes your... What happens to your mind? What is your treatment to your mind when it dictates you that is not beneficial to your well-being? It becomes your enemy. So it's either the mind becomes your friend or your enemy. Enemy when it dictates you something that is not desirable, unfavorable to your well-being. When I say well-being, that means you are following the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master. Another misery that causes us pain or causes us to suffer, what is it? Teachers. I will not ask the brahmacharis because they've been here for, I think, more than a week. Teachers. Misery caused by the mind, caused by other living entity. Just like your friend, just like your parents, your teachers, your relatives, your neighbors. At times, they give you anxiety or stress because maybe you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And you are being reprimanded by your superior, by your parents, or by your friends. That's why it gives you stress. It gives you anxiety. And that anxiety, if you don't know how to handle, becomes misery. Okay? So you can't avoid that. But you know how to handle it. When you listen to the authority, how to manage stress, how to manage anxiety, because they come and go. Okay? Just like, for example, you're not able to meet the deadlines, your commitment, then you'll be reprimanded. How to go about that? Then you simply obey, listen, obey, and do your job. And you must learn a lesson from that experience. Another misery that gives us pain. The last one. Yes, misery caused by Mother Nature. And we are all experiencing that. From heavy rain, or it's so hot during the day, and all of a sudden there's downpour, then there's typhoon, there's flood, earthquake, eruption of volcanoes, earthquakes, everything that is caused by Mother Nature, which is also caused by us, human beings, because we don't take care of the environment. Ito ra ba yung healing chant? Tas ito yung palaging wala. Hindi kaya. Data ko. For a while. Mabalik na siguro. Okay, it's there. So all these three miseries caused us to become unhappy. So when we are experiencing unhappiness, it all points to these miseries that we are discussing. And because they've been with us, we've been experiencing them, we tend to become callous. We tend to become conditioned by them. That is why we say that's nature's arrangement, or that's natural. But there is solution to that. The way you manage things, there is a solution to that. And that's knowing our true identity. That we are not this body, we are not our mind. So when we get stressed, we have to understand that it's our mind's job, our mind's trip. So if it's just a mind activity, then we should know that we are not our mind. Alam nyo ba yan, boys? That we are not our mind? Our mind is our possession. So we tend to identify with it. Pag sinasabi we identify with the mind, akala natin tayo ang mind. Na kung ano ang dinidictate ng mind, we tend to obey. So we should not obey or follow the dictates of the mind when they are not beneficial to us. Because we are spirit soul, part and parcel of God. Our job is to worship, to love, and serve God. So when we are dictated by our mind not to serve, not to chant, not to listen to the spiritual lectures of our mentors, then that is the work of the mind. The mind is very clever. When it's time to discuss about spiritual matters or time to do japa, immediately it tells you to be sleepy. Antok kaagad tayo. We tend to yawn. Alam nyo anong yawn? Manghuyab. And when you do huyab, anong next niyan? Matutulog na. That's why when we listen to lectures, we are always encouraged to sit straight. Because when we sit straight, the flow of the air, the oxygen in your body becomes smooth. It freely goes up and down. That will make you awake all the time. Then you also do regular breathing so that you don't get sleepy. So that is the job of the mind. It always draws you away from doing what we are supposed to do. And what we are supposed to do. What activities that we do in our life must be aligned. When we say aligned, in line with our goal in life. Our goal might be materialistic, meaning that goal will lead you towards achieving material things. And there's nothing wrong with that because we have this body to maintain, to keep. Okay? We're not teaching you to depend on others. We're teaching you to be independent as far as taking care of this material body. And that is why we work. And that's why we like to earn. But the advice of the scriptures is not that life is not all material. It should be in the foundation, based on the foundation of spirituality. Because if you don't know your eternal nature, that you are spirit soul, you will be misled and you will be focusing on something that is not anymore leading towards the goal in life, which is serving God. If you have this goal of attaining something, like finishing college, finishing your studies, or attaining a job which is for you, has greater financial opportunity, then you must not be misled that that is not all and all. There must be a guiding principle that God is the ultimate source of happiness. That is not the source of happiness. That you find a job, then you'll become happy. Because where you put the proceeds of your job, when you do business, the proceeds of that, it must be spent that will glorify the Supreme Person. Not only for your well-being, for your material well-being. Just like, for example, you want to get this job so that you can receive big amount of salary. Then it is for your enjoyment, for your family, for your extended family. And that will lead you to miseries, because that is not our position of being the enjoyment of what we accumulate. That is why in the scriptures it is said that we should not over-endeavor. Over-endeavoring over material things will not make us happy. Because if we have excessive wealth, the tendency is our mind will blow us and will dictate us to do things. But if you have this desire always to please the Supreme Person, especially when you have come to the point of deciding that you need a spiritual master in your life. When I say a spiritual master in your life, someone that is a true representative of Krishna. None other qualification. If he is not a representative of Lord Krishna, then there is a tendency that that person will exploit you. What is a true representative of Krishna? Then it's been discussed by Sir Bhagavan Das that that person can change the heart of a materialistic heart to a lover of God. When that person is capable of changing your materialistic heart to a lover of Krishna, then that person qualifies to be the spiritual master. And another is he can understand and well explain the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, all the scriptures in the world, he can understand and he can explain verbatimly or with deliberation that we can fully understand the meaning of it. There are many spiritual masters, so-called spiritual masters, that pose as a representative of God, but when you hear them, we end up confused by their explanation. So that is not a representative of God. And a representative of God is a living person that you can ask question. You can inquire from him the truth. So that we check in our life if we have that. And if we don't, then it's high time to really come to that point of deciding, because we cannot afford to let time go, let time pass by, and we wait that our body gets old before we decide that, or we wait till something happens to us before we come into conclusion that God is really the end point, or the central point of my life. I was talking about surrender. And when we surrender, as concluded in Bhagavad Gita, that we should surrender to God. And when we surrender unto Him, He immediately takes charge of us. So if we don't have that faith that God takes care of us when we surrender to Him, then that we must develop. Because that is the goal in life. To love and serve God. And to be able to do that, we have to surrender to Him. And in this stage, we have not come into that platform, then we need to develop. If we have that little inkling of surrendering to Him, then we need to enhance that. And I have here a list of surrendering process. How to arrive at surrendering to God. First, accept things favorable for discharging devotional service. So we know already that devotional service attracts Krsna, or attracts God. When I say Krsna, it does not point to any religion. It is a title of God, which means God is all attractive. There's no one more attractive than God. That's why we call Him Krsna. But that does not mean that I'm pointing to a religion or a certain sect to follow. We are all children of God, and we all have one God to worship, to love, and to serve. And to be able to surrender, you accept things that are favorable to your devotional service, favorable for discharging devotional service. For example, your devotional service is being a teacher. So that means you are given the opportunity to take care of your students, your class, to become patient, to learn many things, to be able to transfer that learning to your class. Then that is your great opportunity. That is a kind of devotional service that you do, a kind of surrender. You have to offer whatever talent or whatever potential you have in this lifetime. You don't need to go far, or you don't need to see far just to serve God. Whatever you have, right now, you be a student, you be a pupil, a teacher, an administrator, a housewife, a worker, whatever job or whatever designation or position you have in this lifetime, you can immediately serve God. All you have to do is offer that with love and devotion. It is not that you are not satisfied by it because you are not happy with it. You are not happy because you are thinking other than what is in front of you. And that is the power of the mind. When you think of something that is not in your possession, that will make you happy. Because you are looking at your friends who are now well situated materially, and you're thinking, maybe by the time I'll be in that position, that will make you happy. But you don't know the agenda of those people. You don't know their story. All you see is their external activity, and you conclude that they're happy. The only person who knows that you are happy or not is you and God. And we cannot be following their pattern because we have certain karma. Karma meaning the action that we do has a corresponding action. So what you have now is the result of your previous karma. And what you see with your neighbors, with your friends, with your batchmates is a result of their karma. So how to have a good life is not by having wealthy living, or is not by keeping ourselves busy. It's not. It is having a connection with God. You may have loads of money in your house. Having that money will not make you happy. You have to spend it. How you spend it, that's how you are going to experience happiness. And that is by spending it that is favorable for your devotional service. Okay, so number 2, reject the unfavorable. What is that? That we reject the unfavorable. How do we know that favor is not good for your spiritual life? If it does not lead you towards the real goal, then that is unfavorable. Okay? Anything that will pull you away from the goal, which is serving God, that is unfavorable activity. Like for example, we are given this great benediction or boon that we are here in this small planet of Madana Mohana Academy. That we hear wisdom every day. In the morning, we hear. In the evening, we hear. That is a very great benediction given to us by God. We may not appreciate it because our focus is on things other than what we are having. But hearing the pastimes of the past saints and sages, the spiritual masters' stories, then we can always conclude that serving God is the ultimate, none other. It is not serving your senses. Or you will say, serving my family, because you are so indebted that your parents sent you to school. And now that you're done with your studies, it's high time to repay them. That is natural that we think that way. But it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, once we chant, all those indebtedness that we experience or we feel are all paid off. Do you believe in that? Then if you don't, then you need to chant more. Chanting is the only solution. We tend to think, how come we've been chanting for long, but still I cannot relate what is always discussed here. How come I'm still miserable? How come I'm still very lonely? And how come my mind is full of anxiety? You don't even know that it's just your mind. Akala mo anxiety ka, anxious ka. But namimiss ko si Papa at si Mama. Kahit nasabihan na ako that your true parents, your true mom and your true dad is Krsna or God. Kasi sinabi na nga ng the greatest prayer, di ba? Our Father in heaven, holy be your name. So meaning, our Father, isa lang pala yung tatay natin. Di ba? Hindi si Hindi si Maclean. Isa lang, tatay natin. And we call him Krsna because he is all attractive. And you say, religion man nila ni Madam. No. This is universal truth. We only have one God and we are His children. And the reason why we are anxious, the reason why we're lonely when our parents are not with us is because we thought the whole time that they are our parents. So, yung totoo talaga nating parents, yung God. At yung biological parent natin ay yung mama natin at papa kung saan kayo nilabas. That is why we are very indebted to them. Dako ang utang na loob natin sa kanila because without them, we never reach, we don't have this body now. Because sila ang nagpanganak sa atin. But as I've said, when we chant, the indebtedness is paid off. It is their duty to send you to school. Yung parents nyo magagalit na sa akin. Number 3, believe firmly in Lord's protection. So when we firmly believe, our heart is fixed that God can protect us when we surrender Him, then that's it. How come you're not in that platform that you are fixed in your believing or understanding that you are in God's protection? It is because you lack the faith. You have to strengthen that faith in God. And in surrendering to Him, there you experience happiness. Number 4, feel exclusively, meaning the only thing, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord. Sometimes because of our talent, of our abilities, we try to depend ourselves. Kaya ko to. I don't need anyone to guide me, to teach me, because I am independent. In that premise, you already fail. Because in any way, in all ways, we are dependent on God. For example, the moment you wake up in the morning, if you cannot wake up, then it's God's mercy that you were able to wake up and to be able to breathe in and out, to inhale, exhale, to see the beauty of nature, to experience sunshine, the coolness of the air, the breeze. These are all coming from God. So we cannot really say that we are independent from God. We depend exclusively to Him. Exclusively dependent on the mercy. That's why we keep praying for the mercy. We don't say you keep praying for any material benefit, because everything has been given to us already. Nandiyan na. It's a matter of seeing. It's a matter of acknowledging and appreciating. Once we chant, once we glorify, once we are thankful, we are very appreciative, God gives us intelligence. Binibigyan niya tayo ng intelligence to be able to see things, to be able to handle the talents, the potentialities, the abilities that we have. That we don't need to over-endeavor. Na yung gabi gawing araw, yung araw gawing gabi para lang kumita. To the point of getting sick. So it's not worth it. It's only worth it when you use your earnings or your proceeds to the glories of God. If it's just for your own self, then you don't need to over-endeavor because you only eat 3 times a day. But I need this house. I need this car. That's why I over-endeavor. But these things will just give you anxiety. Pag-aawayan ng mga anak, and if you cannot get it, it causes you anxiety also. There's karma. It will come, whether you like it or not. It will just come. The point is, don't over-endeavor. Number 5, you have no interest. You have no interest. Are you listening? Separate from the interest of the Lord. So ngayon, ano yung interest ni Lord na kailangan hindi ako maging separate from that? What is the interest of the Lord? Shaira, ano interest niya? Where is the Lord happy at? Seeing us, glorifying Him. That's all His interest. Seeing us happy, glorifying Him. Chanting His holy names. He loves to hear His names. So, itong number 5, our interest must be in that, glorifying Him. Because that is His interest. Di man niya sinabi, magpakayaman kayo. Magpakahirap kayo. Anong tawag dyan? Baklayin nyo ang highest mountain to be able to attain gold. No. Anong sinabi niya? First and foremost commandment, love God. Simple. Let us not make things complicated. Let us not make life complicated either. Just by following the first and foremost commandment, love God. Yun na yun. How to love Him? By chanting His holy names. By surrendering to Him. How to surrender Him? Di na pwede sila kaghapa, di na kay surrender ka. You have to act wisely. Devotional service means activity. Dili pwede ang magpuyot na lang ko diri, magsige na lang ko diri, chant. Kay mo ingon ni Madam, mag-chant. Kay it makes the Lord happy. That's why the more you chant, the more intellectual you become. The more intelligent you become. That no people can fool you. No offer can entice you. Kahit ano pang offer dyan, you're not attracted. You're offered something. You're not attracted. Because your interest is not separate from the interest of the Lord. Sometimes because we've been doing things for long, we get bored. We can assess ourselves. Then you lack the sincerity of your chanting. Because there's no end to enhancing our chanting. You improve that. Before you just chant 5 rounds. Then not with focus. So when you don't have focus, it's better than not chanting at all. But if we desire to really make God our friend, then we should chant one-pointedly. Our focus must be on Him. We hear the sound that we chant, then we offer our chanting with love and devotion. When we chant Krsna, then that's it. Di mo na kailang pigain, Krsna. Not needed, because Krsna and His name are non-different. His name, His form. Many people say they don't see God. But we always say, we see God. Huh? Do you see God? Yes. No. When you say Krsna, God is there. You can even embrace God. Okay? And last, always feel oneself meek and humble. Humble, not humbug. Humbug. So, we should always put our feet grounded because that is the key. When Srila Prabhupada once called here, he told Bhagavan Das and I was there, and he told me, because I was listening and he noticed that there's this noise. Oh, is Nichalila there? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Nichalila's here. And he said, Nichalila, the secret to success, the reason why a person, a devotee, is successful is because, number one, you chant conscientiously, with love and devotion, with sincerity, focus on Him. And two is you are humble. When you are humble all the time, feeling lower than the straw in the street. Di ba yung kanta natin? One should chant the holy names of the Lord in a humble state of mind, feeling oneself lower than the straw in the street. Kana mga sagbot bito na palagi nating step on, yun yung mga grasses, dapat lower tayo than them. May lower pa ba doon? Yung ground, yun ang gusto ni Lord. So yun ang dapat i-practice natin. Why we are unhappy? Because we are not humble. We are arrogant. We are flaunting the little things that we have. Kahit ano pa kalaki yung meron tayo, ano ka ka-bright, ano ka ka-successful, ano ka kagaling, still, mas magaling pa talaga si Lord kaysa sa atin because He is the most attractive. That's why we should not be flaunting or we should not be arrogant. We should not be bragging. Yun bitang tinatawag na conceit. Alam niyo anong conceit? Yabang. We must not be conceited. Okay? So if these things, 6 surrendering processes will be practiced by us, then we will be safe. We will be safe. And we can attain the perfection of life. What did Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 4, verse 34. Engage your mind always in me, thinking of me. Offer obeisances unto me. Worship me, being completely absorbed in me. So pati buhok natin, pati dust, pati ilong, lahat absorbed in Krishna. Surely you will come to me. So yun na yung always believe firmly in Lord's protection. Many people, that is why hindi sila masyadong naka-experience because hanggang sa liwanag lang sila. Hanggang sa liwanag. They have not really penetrated na from that liwanag, there's this sun globe. Yung source ng light, which is God. Yung nakikita natin sa mundo na to, ano lang yan, parang tipik. Yung mga taphaw lang na happiness. They're flickering. Hindi talaga sila yung true source of happiness. Itong cellphone na to, ito talaga yung source of joy ko. Kinuha ni Madam. Napakasakit. Hindi ko na makita yung family ko, yung mga friends ko, yung mga ka-associate ko before. They are my source of happiness. That's why you are able to say that because you were not able to penetrate the source of joy, which is God. Kasi lahat ito galing sa Kanya. And you cannot separate the things that you see here from Him. Like for example, you see a watch. Where does that point to when you see a watch? Madam Lisel, pag makikita ka ng relo or makikita ka ng car, where does that point to? The maker. Sinong gumawa ng watch na to? Sinong gumawa ng car na to, di ba? So, the creation, this creation, points to the Creator. So tayo, sumabit tayo dun sa creation. We fail to go deeper to the source of creation. So sino yung source? Krsna. God. Kaya doon tayo dapat mapasalamatin. For example, what I become now, kung ano yung na-attain ko ngayon, it's because I listened to Sir Bhagavan. So, in a way, I'm indebted to Him. May utang loob ako sa Kanya, di ba? Kasi siya yung source ng nadatnan ko ngayon. But it does not mean na yung buhay ko, bigay ko sa Kanya. Kagaya nyo rin. Mga parents nyo, pinanganak kayo. But it doesn't mean bigay nyo yung buhay nyo sa kanila. You only give your life to God. They are instrument to what we are, to what we become now. But we should not fail to think and acknowledge that the source of everything we have, of every knowledge we acquire, of every talent we possess, God is the source of that. And that is where we should be indebted to. Not to anyone else. So kung ikaw, you're a parent now, at iniisip mo na yung anak mo indebted sa'yo, then you should stop thinking that way. We parents. At kung tayo, mga teachers, meron tayong pinag-aral, because they need us, then we should not think they are indebted to us. It's just natural that you help them. Alam naman ibang tao ang tutulong sa kanila. But you should not demand their life. Na pagsilbihan nyo ako dahil tinulungan ko kayo. No. We are duty bound to take care of our kids. To send them to school or whatever activities we do. Our indebtedness is only for Krsna. And we know Him through the spiritual master. And our spiritual master, coming from the long line of disciplic succession, that's where we should put our awe and reverence. Not on anyone else. Pwedeng yung ibang tao nakatulong sa atin para gumawa ng devotional service. But it does not mean we give our life to them. Because it's only God who is worth giving our life to. Kasi kung ibigay nyo yung life nyo, yung surrender nyo to the person who is not a Mahabhagavat. What is Mahabhagavat? Yung highest stage of love for God. Kung hindi niya na-attain yun lang din ang ma-attain natin. For example, binigay niyo yung buhay niyo sa person na 5% surrender lang sa Lord. Diba? Marami tayong pinapakinggan spiritually. Pero kung 5% lang yan siya surrender sa God, 5% lang din ang ma-attain mo. Hard facts yan. Kung 50% siya, dinhiradyo ko, maminaw niya kay, naayo akong sakit, no? Naayo akong sakit ka ng, usually, tradition or customary sa mga tao, indebted ta ni balhin og religion kay diri ko naayog sakit, awa ko naayo diri ko na dato diri pud ko. So munang imong life ihatag nimo ang a person. So kung kana nga person 50% lang surrendered sa Lord, 50% lang din ang ma-attain mo. Sayang when you can make it 100%. Gets? Oh, gets good si Jagad. So I have here the highest mode of worship or the highest perfectional stage is the method practiced by the damsels of Raja. Yung kwento bitaw ni Sir na yung mga gopis, buhay nila, biniligay nila kay Krishna. Dapat ganun yung relationship natin. Na parang bata bitaw na pag nawala ng nanay, di ba yung kwento ni Sir na yung bata dinala sa merkado or sa carnival, tapos naiwan siya doon mag-isa? Ano ang reaction ng bata? Yung longingness niya for his mother is very intense. Tagaan mo siya og dulaan. Doesn't have value to him. Bigyan mo ng gold. Wala sa kanya. All he cares is his mother. So ganun dapat ang ating intensity of longingness for God. Kung ganun, kung ano natin kahanap-hanap yung cellphone natin. Kung ano natin kakailangan ang oxygen. Di ba? For example, nilublob ka sa drum. Nilublob ka sa drum. Di ba? What do you do? Muginhawa ba ka sa drum? No, utong ka, di ba? Utom ka. Then, after a while, what do you feel? The longingness for air. Di ba? So kung gano'n natin ka-need ang God sa ating life, hindi lang once in every 7 days. Or hindi lang 1 hour in 24 hours. Or hindi lang 1 minute in 1 hour. 60 minutes. Dapat yung longingness na sa kanya. So, we wonder, really? Really? Then, yun ang sinabi na, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Tikman nyo para malaman nyo na sweet ang honey. Tikman nyo ang pudding para malaman nyo na matamis pala ang cake. Do not speculate. Experience itself. Experience it yourself. So in that way, when we do the processes of devotional service, kanina surrendering process yun. Ito, how do we come to the point of loving God? So there are 9 processes of devotional service. Teacher, can you still remember? Number 1, chanting, hearing, remembering, serving, helping, what else? Bowing, what else? Making friends with the devotees of God. Okay, all these 9 processes are really very, very helpful in our desire to love God. So the highest goal really is to develop an alloyed love for God. Ano yung unalloyed? Pure. Walang halo. Untainted. So when we chant the holy names of God, first, what we experience, when we chant the holy names, the sound vibration passes through 3 stages. So mayroong 3 stages when we chant. One is the offensive stage. What is that? Offensive stage. It is yung pag nag-chant ka, it is for your kanang own self. Material happiness. Meron kang gusto ma-achieve. Kaya ka mag-chant. Gusto mo ma-pacify. Gusto mo ma-console. Gusto mong ma-distress. Yun yung offensive stage. Okay? Yun yung, mag-chant ko para yumaman ako. Yeah, anything material, yan yung offensive stage. Second, clearing stage. Clearing, ma-clear ka. Clear from material contamination. Mawala na sa'yo yung mga ganyan. So, maybe naibsan or nabawasan na yung pagka-himantayon. Or nawala totally yung pagka-manglibak. Yung si Mingaw, yan, and then si Sena. Yung, ano pa yung mawala? Desire to be with friends who are not in the same desire as yours. Diba? Kasi makontaminate ka eh. Sayang yung garden. Sayang yung seed that the spiritual master has planted in your heart. Kunyari, nakarinig kayo ng chanting through me or through sir. Hindi ibig sabihin na ako yung nagplant nun. Ang nagplant nun, spiritual master natin. Hindi ako, kundi siya. Sa kanya tayo indebted. So yung seed na yun, pabayaan nyo yun, sama-sama pa rin kayo sa mga tao na wala pa nakatanim ng seed. Wala pang liso, wala pang buto sa heart nila. What is the tendency? Ano mangyayari? Miss Jovi, ano mangyayari sa buto na tinanim niyo sa garden but you don't take care of it? Sumasama pa rin kayo sa mga kaibigan niyo na walang buto pa. Dapat ikaw yung magtanim ng buto sa heart nila. So what will happen to the seed that has been planted by the spiritual master? It will not grow. Diba? Kasi sumama ka sa hindi desirous in loving God. Mamatay siya. Or kung lumaki na siya, ano mangyari? It will dry. Mawala ng juice. Yan yung clearing stage, ha? Yung material contamination, mawala. So, kahit dumating tayo sa second, okay na. Di ba? Para walang away, walang gulo, wala na akong isi-settle, wala na akong i-arrange, wala na akong i-reconcile. Di ba? Number 3, transcendental stage. Ito yung talagang worth achieving. Na kung pwede mag-over-endeavor tayo, we do it. Ito, ano yon? The most coveted position, the stage of loving God. So, transcendental stage. Wala nang round 2. Kasi dapat clearing stage na kayo. Clearing na. Wala na. Kumbaga sa ready na for planting. At attain natin ang transcendental. So, kung meron man kayong mga round 2 dyan, chant intensively. Kulang sa chanting yan. Chant more. And maybe you have offenses with your friends. Then ask forgiveness. So ask forgiveness, ha? So kasi hindi pwede tapal-tapalan nyo yung tabon-tabunan yung mga offenses nyo. Especially when your offenses are on the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas meaning those who are spreading the names of God. So spend time talking, then ask forgiveness, then start a new life. Ganun lang naman. Hindi man kinokondemn ni Lord yung mga sinful. He always giving room to start. Giving space to start. Hindi yung, dun ka sa kumukulong apoy, mag-swim. Hindi ganun. It's always a room for improvement and advancement. That's why the yoga practice that we do, what we do here, the hearing lecture, the chanting, very nice ito dahil it will make us Krishna conscious. Kung hindi natin ma-appreciate ito, then malaki ang problema nyo. Then someday you come to me and tell me what happened to your life because you did not grab the opportunity that you have been given. Kagaya ng dito sa Madana, ha? Ano yung sinasabi kong opportunity? Nandito na yung temple. All we have to do is wake up in the morning. May bell pag yun na mag-wake sa atin. 5 o'clock. Pero we don't wake up 5 o'clock. Para di tayo malate. Pagka 6, nandyan na Guru Puj na. Di ba? All these things are cultivation to love God. After Guru Puj, may artik. After artik, may lecture pa, follow-up, back-up, support. Hindi lang yung blind following. Hindi lang yung, ingon man si Madam offer offer. Ingon si Sir, bow na, bow. Hindi. May back-up, may follow-up lecture. Tapos kung may question kayo, you can ask questions. Hindi yung, no question. That's it. Hindi ganun. There's always room to ask question. Then, what happens? Our mind becomes, after lecture, meron pang sharing of insights. Grabe, no? To make sure na talagang may transfer of the verses, the learning, the pastimes, and everything. So, perfect. Then, pagka-lunch, wala pang lunch, inoffer pa yung pagkain. Don't you see the boon, the benediction, the love of Krsna? Parang, kung di natin ma-feel yung love for Krsna, I don't know what kind of person are we. Offered pa. Pinasayaw pa tayo. And pinachant. Di ba? Then after that, we partake the prasadam. Hindi pag yun tayo ang nagluto. Somebody cooks for us. May nagluto para sa atin. At yung mga niluto, hindi tayo ang nagtanim para lutuin. People planted that to be able to make us nourished. We fail to see that. We fail to acknowledge that. Bakit? Ano nakikita natin? Ito lang? Bula lang gihapon? Diba? Or malabnaw na soup? Guilty ako dyan. Yeah, meaning purified na imong tongue. When all we do is appreciation and thankfulness, it means you are purified. But when all you do is criticize, judgmental ka, and huwag man ni lami, huwag man ni asin, kulang manig tuyo. It is because we don't want you to get sick with what? Yung kidney problem natin, mahirap. Mahal kayo magpa-dialysis. And that's what will happen to us. Ay, hello sir. Lunch na sir. Next to that, di ba? After eating prasadam, what? May work tayo. Di ba? May work tayo. Ito lang. Or, dinagdagan na naman. Yung work natin. Ang dami na. Hindi na kaya ng powers. Then sa gabi, may Guru Puj na naman. May artik. Then meron namang nadagdag. Di ba japa dati? So ang japa binigay na sa atin. What is next to artik? The reading of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. May lecture pa. Tapos tatawag pa sa mga wherever para makarinig ng lecture. Ganun ang blessing ni Lord. Ganun yung love niya sa atin. Pero tayo, anong ginagawa natin? Maglakilak, kinangita sa parents. Nag-uul-guul. Very impatient tayo sa weaknesses ng iba. Madali tayong magbitiw ng salita. Dahil hindi na-cope ng mga tao yung gusto natin. We are impatient. Itimbang niyo yun compared to the embrace of God. Yung in-expect mo na hindi in-expect mo na dapat yun ang ma-receive mo. Itimbangin mo yun sa whole embrace of God, love for God sa atin. Di ba? Masyadong maliit yung ating pinagdadamot. Yun yung i-cultivate natin. Okay? That's why si Lord Chaitanya ngayong March 29 will appear para i-remind tayo sa mga bagay-bagay na ating nakalimutan na. Just like, di ba, the story of Lord Nityananda, who was told by Lord Chaitanya to preach. O anong ginawa ni Christy o ni Brian, ni Jagad and Madai. Di ba? Hindi nila tinake yung advice. But what happened to them, despite what they did to Lord Nityananda, they were able to, Lord Chaitanya delivered them. And they were able to receive the blessing of the Lord. So ano yung mga things na tinuturo ni Lord Chaitanya? Ito nakita ko this morning kasi ito lang this morning na nag-process ang mind ko na ako pala yung mag-speak dito ngayon. Kaya wala ako nung grupo kasi nagbasa-basa pa ako. I forgot na si Sir pala pag-alis, andito ako. Sabi niya, ito, 2 great enemies. May enemy pala tayo. 2 great enemies of progress, spiritual progress. Ano yung number 1? Isip daw, isip. Mga bright naman kaayong oy. So ito ito nga, dito ko danling nalaman. Party feeling. Party. Kanang feeling ba na team tayo? Tayo, team. Tayo lang mahal ni Lord. Sila hindi. Yan ang makapagpauntol ng spiritual progress mo. Kami lang ang ganun ka-contaminated yung mind natin. Pag sabing party, yes, party. Meron talaga. Kasi invited tayo tomorrow sa party. Hindi. We need to travel. Saturday, that's why walang bikil. Yung may mga parents, mga anak lang ang may bikil. So party feeling, kanang kita lang ang anak ni Lord, yung iba hindi. Lumos na naglasabaw. Kita lang ang naglutaw-lutaw. Yung party feeling. Team spirit ba? Team spirit. Kami lang kami mga brown, kayo mga puti, kami mga yellow, kayo mga red. Yan. Bodily identification or sectarianism. You belong to a sect, you are saved. Ang sabi ni Lord, we are one and the same spirit, soul, children of God. Okay? Walang pinili si Lord. Kaya lang merong degree of advancement because one is very sincere. At yung isa, nagpasangit-sangit pa. Imbes mo diretso sa Cagayan, nihunong sa Valencia. Bating sa Valencia, na COVID. Kaya sumabit. So dapat pag sinabing, everybody, proceed to Cagayan, diretso. So tomorrow, diretso. Hindi ay. Masyado kayong enjoying mentality talaga. Secret. Huy, nandito ba ako sa social media? and yun nga, sectarianism. Yun. Sandali, meron ako, kasi alam nyo, minsan na ako makapagsalita dito, di ba? Meron akong sectarianism. Party feeling. Feeling. Ito, physically, in group. Save me. Are you sure you are saved? Pag i-follow mo yung processes ni Lord, save ka talaga. Sige, ano yung ma-expect natin if we do devotional service? Para alam natin, yan pala, sige, mag-over-endeavor na ako. Sabi natin kasi parang, di pa ito na-mention. Ito yung characteristics of pure may participation si Gor. Devotional service. Sabi ni Gor, I know that. 1, It will bring you immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. Di ba yun ang pinakagusto natin? Na wala na tayong anxiety, stress, or mga feeling of kulang, feeling lacking, or feeling sobra. Ito, devotional service brings immediate relief. Mura kang nakainom og alaksan. From all kinds of material distress. Meaning, pag meron ka na palang devotional service, yun na, wala nang second round. Wala nang next reconciliation. Yun na. Okay? Number 2. It is, agoy, kaganda nito eh. It is the beginning of auspiciousness. Diba? We like to experience auspiciousness. Hindi yung magligid-ligid ka sa mga 1,000 bills. Hindi mo yun auspicious kasi marami nung fungus yung pera, yung maraming germ yan. Auspiciousness, the feeling of being loved, secured, pampered by the Lord. Okay? Hindi yung iniisip nyo kung sino yung nag-love-love sa inyo. Na pag meron kayong ginawang something, bitawan kayo at iwanan kayo. Ito ang someone that will never leave you whatever happens. He loves you unconditionally. Meron ba kayo mag-post-post? Unconditional love, pero but. Number 3. Smile, makadya. Hilmer. Number 3, pure devotional service automatically puts one in what? Transcendental pleasure. Mura ka giduyan-duyan. Dili to giingon ni sir nga. Kalain man to. Ito transcendental pleasure, ecstatic love, pure prema. Automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. Diba gusto natin ng pleasure na endless? Ito na yun. Bakit wala pa tayo na experience na ganito? Dahil wala pa kayo nakarating sa realm na yun. So, wag kayong tingin-tingin lang sa labas ng jar ng honey. Open the lid and taste the honey. Ang flavor ba ngayon kay... secret. Number 4. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Very rare ay siya. Hindi siya nandyan lang always, kundi grab it because it's rarely there. Huwag tayo magsalig, narap na si Madam da sig lecture, narap na si Sir da sig lecture. No. That time will never ever be the same again. Okay? Rarely achieved. Number 5, those in pure devotional service deride, santabi, even the conception of liberation. Di ba gusto natin ma-liberate? Even liberation na isantabi because you have pure devotional service. Ganon siya ka-sweet, ganon siya ka-tasty, ka-pricey, ka-valuable. Okay? Nasa mind nyo na yan? Or hindi maisip? And the last. Next time na lang ang last. Ay, kunyari, interested sila. And this is the highlight and the climax of the 6 characteristics. Ito yung highlight. Alam niyo ano to? Guess. Yan na kayo nag-react ang internet. Okay, live. Oy, rarely internet. Number 6. Pure devotional service is the only, walang, hindi kay 4, 2nd, 3rd, the only means to attract what? Krsna. Ito lang. Wala ng iba. Pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. That is why we can see Krishna anywhere we look, up, down, side by side, especially here at Madana. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Because you cannot separate all the things in this world from Him. And you cannot separate Him from the devotee of Krishna. But our question is, how to attract Krishna? Kasi tayo, nakita na natin siya. Pero tayo, paano natin magawa na makita tayo ni Krishna? Na ma-attract siya sa atin. How? Number 6. Through pure devotional service. Hindi lang devotional service, pure. Paano maging pure and unalloyed? No material consideration. Wala na timbangan diri. No more timbang-timbang. Okay? This means that, ito pa, meron purport. Listen, because it's very nice. This means that pure devotional service is even transcendentally stronger than Krishna Himself. Grabe, mas powerful pa kay Krishna. Why? Because it is Krishna's internal potency. Yun pala ang devotional service. Kaya wag nyo nang tingnan-tingnan sa labas ng jar. Buksan ang jar, taste the honey. That is the love for God. So yun lang. I hope you were able to get something from the lecture. And I hope you not only hear, but apply. You see how important association is? You see how important the environment is? Ano ang sinabi ng scholar, great educator? It takes a village to educate a child or to raise a child. So it takes a village. Environment is very much important to be able to attract Krishna. Okay? So that is the deeper meaning of that. Do not stay on the outskirt only of that cliche na ano yun? It takes a village to educate a child. You go deeper. It takes spiritual environment to be able to attract Krishna. Yan yung to be able to educate. Educate means loving God. That's the only education. All the things here, they are temporary and only good for 60 years, 80 years. Good if you reach 60 years. Okay? Haribol Namaste. Let's come to Kirtan. Okay? Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Ite Namine
Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Siddhaswarupananda
Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastayate
Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Manju Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Krishna present.